Did you know that over 200 million people worldwide have battled alcohol addiction, and a shocking number of them were music legends on the biggest stages? From Steve Clarke's deadly cocktail of liquor and pills to Jani Lane's tragic end in a lonely hotel room, here are 15 heavy metal stars who died of alcoholism. 1. Steve Clarke, Def Leppard. Steve Clarke was born in England in 1960 in a place called Wisewood in Sheffield. He wasn't born into fame. He didn't have a fancy start, but something about music pulled him in early. As a young boy, he saw a concert that changed him. He watched Cliff Richard and the Shadows, and from that day, he wanted music to be his whole life. His parents saw his interest and gave him a guitar when he was 11. But there was a rule. He had to really learn how to play it, and he did. He studied classical guitar for a year. Then he heard Led Zeppelin. That sound stuck in his head like fire. It changed everything. He dropped the soft style and picked up hard rock. Steve's big break came in 1978 when he joined a band called Def Leppard. The band was just getting started, but they were hungry to make it big. Steve's guitar playing was strong and full of feeling. He helped shape their sound with heavy riffs and loud melodies. His skills stood out, and the fans loved it. Albums like On Through the Night, High and Dry, Pyromania, and Hysteria made the band explode into stardom. Crowds grew bigger, lights got brighter, and the music kept getting louder. But even with all the success, Steve wasn't smiling inside. Alcohol slowly crept into his life. It started as a way to relax after a show. Then it became part of his daily routine. He drank before shows, after shows, and even in between. Bandmates noticed. They worried. In 1989, they held an intervention. They begged him to get help. He agreed and went to rehab, but he didn't stay. He walked out before the treatment was done. That was a huge red flag. Still, people hoped he'd turn things around, but things only got worse. Steve kept drinking, even when his body was giving up. On January 8, 1991, the music world got a terrible shock. Steve was found dead in his London home. He was just 30 years old. The cause? A deadly mix of alcohol and prescription pills. His blood alcohol level was 0.30. That's not just high, it's deadly. He also had morphine in his system. His body had finally had enough. People close to him weren't surprised. They had seen him slipping away for years. The bright lights of the stage had hidden a deep pain. 2. Jani Lane, Warrant. Jani Lane was born in 1964 in Akron, Ohio. He wasn't born with a microphone in his hand, but it didn't take long for people to hear his voice. As a child, he was already playing drums, singing, and writing songs. Music came easy to him. He had the kind of voice that people remembered, but chasing a music dream isn't easy. He changed his name to Jani Lane and moved to Los Angeles. That's where the real fight started. Big dreams, big lights, big risks. In 1986, he joined a band called Warrant. Jani became the frontman, the face and the voice of the group. His looks, energy, and voice made the band special. They had catchy songs and wild videos that fit perfectly into the glam metal scene of the late 80s. Their first big album was Dirty Rotten Filthy Stinking Rich. It was a hit. The song Heaven climbed all the way to number 2 on the charts. People thought Jani had it all. Then came the next album, Cherry Pie, which pushed them even higher. The title song became an anthem, but something was hiding behind Jani's smile: alcohol. At first, it was just part of the party. Everyone in the scene drank. But Jani's drinking didn't stop when the party ended. It kept going. He would leave the band and then come back. It wasn't just drama. It was a cry for help. His career became messy. New albums didn't get the same attention. He tried solo work, but the sparkle had dimmed. Behind the scenes, he was struggling every day. His drinking became public. People could see he wasn't doing well. In 2011, the end came. Jani was found alone in a hotel room in California. The cause of death was acute alcohol poisoning. He drank himself to death. He was only 47. No fans cheering, no stage lights. Just a lonely room and a life cut short. People who knew him said they weren't shocked. He had been on a downhill slide for a long time. 3. Jeff Hanneman, Slayer. Jeff Hanneman was born in 1964 in Oakland, California, and raised in a family tied to the military. War stories were common in his house. As a child, he heard about battles, soldiers, and dark moments in history. That shaped his mind. It shaped his music. In 1981, he helped create Slayer, one of the loudest, fastest, and angriest metal bands of all time. Jeff wasn't just a guitar player. He was the brain behind many of their songs full of fire, fear, and rage. Slayer didn't hold back, and neither did Jeff. With each album, he poured out music that felt like a punch to the chest. Albums like Rain in Blood and Seasons in the Abyss changed metal forever. Jeff helped write the songs. He played with speed and skill few could match. Fans loved his power on stage. But behind the scenes, Jeff had a different battle. He was drinking a lot. At first, it wasn't clear how bad it was, but over time, the signs were there. In 2011, everything changed. Jeff got very sick from a rare infection called necrotizing fasciitis. Many said it came from a spider bite, but others believed alcohol had already made his body weak. While recovering, Jeff had to stop playing. The band kept going without him. People started to worry. He looked thin, tired, lost. The infection was serious, but it wasn't the only problem. His liver had been damaged by years of drinking. In 2013, Jeff died at age 49. The cause was liver failure. Doctors said it was from alcohol-related cirrhosis. It wasn't a shock to those close to him. They knew. They had seen the fall, but fans still felt crushed. Slayer lost a key piece. Metal lost a master. And once again, alcohol had taken someone who had once looked untouchable. 4. Alexi Laiho, Children of Bonham. Alexi Laiho was born in Espoo, Finland in 1979. He was just a kid when he started playing the violin, but soon the violin wasn't enough. He switched to guitar, and it was like a fire lit up inside him. He practiced for hours, sometimes all day. He looked up to metal bands like Halloween, and he dreamed of making his own mark. By the time he was a teenager, he had already started a band called In Earth DE, which later became Children of Bonham. Alexi didn't play just for fun. He played like his life depended on it. His fingers moved fast, his sound was sharp, and fans loved him. He didn't just stand on stage, he ruled it. With albums like Follow the Reaper and Hate Crew Death Roll, the band exploded across Europe and Japan. People started calling him one of the best metal guitarists in the world, but while the crowd cheered, something was going wrong behind the curtain. Alexi was drinking a lot. He had a wild energy, and some thought the drinking was just part of his rock star life. But it wasn't just partying, it was deeper, darker. Alcohol became part of his daily life. He struggled with pain, stress, and mental health, and the bottle was always nearby. People close to him worried. Some tried to help, but Alexi kept slipping back. He looked thinner, tired. His playing started to change. His mood changed too. In 2019, Children of Bonham broke up. Alexi wasn't done with music though. He started a new band called Bonham After Midnight, but things didn't go as planned. His health was falling apart. People noticed. In December 2020, the worst news came. Alexi Laiho had died. He was only 41. Reports said his liver was badly damaged. He had fatty liver, a weak pancreas, and more, all caused by long-term drinking. He didn't just die young, he died broken. 5. Bon Scott, AC/DC. Bon Scott was born in Scotland in 1946. When he was still a small boy, his family moved far away to Australia. He grew up in Fremantle, a place where he quickly stood out for his loud voice, wild behavior, and love for music. From a young age, Bon didn't like rules. He wanted to be different, to live big, and to be remembered. He tried many things before joining AC/DC, playing with other bands like the Valentines and Fraternity. But nothing stuck like AC/DC. That's where his loud voice, wild ways, and strong stage energy found the perfect place. When he joined AC/DC in 1974, the band was still growing. But with Bon, something changed. His raspy voice and wild look made him unforgettable. His words were sharp, fun, and often pushed the limits. Albums like High Voltage, Let There Be Rock, and Highway to Hell became hits. People couldn't get enough of the band, and Bon was a big reason why. He wasn't just a singer, he was the face of the wild rock life. Fans loved how he laughed in the face of danger, but behind the fun, something darker was growing. Bon lived fast, too fast. He drank all the time. People around him saw it, but no one made him stop. They said it was just how rock stars lived. But it wasn't just fun anymore. His body was getting tired. His mind was cloudy. He would party all night, drink until he passed out, and still try to perform. Every day he was pushing closer to the edge, and no one helped pull him back. On February 19, 1980, Bon was found dead in a friend's car. It was cold, it was dark, and he was gone. The cause of death was alcohol poisoning. They called it a death by misadventure. He was only 33 years old. Just a few weeks before, he had been laughing and singing in front of crowds. Now he was silent. His body had given up. The band was crushed. Fans were shocked. They had just started to take over the world, and now their voice was gone. 6. John Bonham, Led Zeppelin. John Bonham was born in 1948 in a small town in England. As a child, he loved drums more than anything. He started playing at age 5 using whatever he could find. Pots, pans, anything that made noise. People called him a natural. He never had real lessons. He didn't need them. His talent spoke for itself. When he got older, his drumming became loud, fast, and full of power. He was impossible to ignore. When Led Zeppelin needed a drummer in 1968, John was their first choice, and it changed everything. With Bonham on drums, Led Zeppelin became unstoppable. His beats weren't just background noise, they were the heartbeat of every song. He had a way of making the drums talk, scream, and thunder. His solos would shake the ground. Fans cheered. Other drummers watched in awe. Some tried to copy him, but none could match him. He had magic in his hands, but while his music soared, his personal life was falling apart. Bonham drank a lot, too much, and he didn't stop. At first, people thought it was just part of the rock lifestyle, a drink after a show, a few drinks before bed. But it was never just a few. His drinking grew worse. He became angry, tired, and hard to reach. Bandmates were worried, but no one really knew how to help. Fame had put a shield around him. He was loved by millions, but helped by none, and the alcohol kept winning. On September 25, 1980, the band gathered at a house to rehearse. Bonham had drinks early in the day, then more and more. That night, he passed out. He was laid in bed to rest, but by the next morning, he was gone. He had choked on his own vomit in his sleep. Alcohol had poisoned him. He was only 32 years old. 8. Paul Di'Anno, Iron Maiden. Paul Di'Anno was born in 1958 in Chingford, England. He was tough, loud, and full of energy. When he joined Iron Maiden in 1978, the band found its voice. Paul's voice was sharp, rough, and full of fire. He brought a kind of danger to the stage that fans loved. The band's first 2 albums, Iron Maiden and Killers, showed what heavy metal could be: fast, strong, and real. Paul helped build that sound. His look, his voice, and his attitude made him stand out. But behind the music, Paul was fighting something. He drank a lot. He used substances. He said he was trying to stay strong, but he was falling apart. The band noticed. He would miss shows, show up late, or act strange. His voice started to suffer. His body started to slow down. The music was moving forward, but Paul was stuck. The fun was fading and the problems were growing. People warned him, but he didn't listen. In 1981, Iron Maiden let him go. They had to. They were rising fast, and Paul was pulling them down. He didn't leave quietly. It was loud, messy, and full of regret. He joined other bands, started new ones, and kept singing. But it was never the same. His health kept getting worse. The drinking never stopped. The substances stayed close. And over time, Paul faded from the spotlight. The voice that once roared now whispered. For years, he tried to keep going. He played small shows. He gave interviews. But his body was failing. He had surgeries. He was often in pain. He needed help to move. Still, the bottle stayed near. On October 21st, 2024, Paul Di'Anno died. He was 66. The cause wasn't a surprise. Years of drinking had broken him. It was a long fall, and it ended in silence. 9. Jason Molina. Songs, Ohia, Magnolia Electric Co. Jason Molina was born in Lorain, Ohio on December 30th, 1973. He wasn't a huge rock star with wild parties and flashing lights. He was quiet, private, and made music that spoke to people who felt sad or alone. His songs were deep and full of pain, often talking about the darkness that people hide inside. He sang for bands like Songs, Ohia, and Magnolia Electric Co., and his music mixed folk, country, and rock. People loved him for being honest in his songs, but many didn't know how much he was hurting in real life. Jason had a serious drinking problem. This wasn't just someone who liked to have a few drinks on weekends. He drank every day, all the time. It got worse as the years passed. Friends and family watched him fall deeper into trouble. He stopped touring, stopped recording, and disappeared from the music world for long periods. Some people thought he was just taking a break, but the truth was far more painful. His body was falling apart. Alcohol was eating away at him, slowly and painfully. He tried to get better. He went to hospitals, to rehab centers, and he even lived in special care homes. But nothing seemed to work. The alcohol had taken too much from him already. He was weak, tired, and often confused. He couldn't play music the same way anymore. His hands shook. His memory faded. Sometimes he didn't even recognize people he knew well. It was like he was fading away while still alive. By the time March 2013 came around, Jason was extremely sick. His organs couldn't take it anymore. His liver and kidneys were damaged beyond repair. On March 16, 2013, he died from organ failure. He was only 39 years old, a life cut short, a voice silenced forever, not by fate, not by accident, but by alcohol. Every note he sang now feels heavier. Every lyric hits harder. He wrote about being broken, and in the end, he truly was. Jason Molina is remembered by fans as a deep and thoughtful songwriter. But behind the music is a terrible warning. Addiction doesn't care how talented you are. It doesn't care how much people love you. It takes and takes you until there's nothing left. 11. David Byron, Uriah Heep. David Byron was born David Garrick on January 29, 1947, in Essex, England. He had a voice that filled up rooms and a way of performing that pulled people in. As the lead singer of Uriah Heep, he helped create some of their most loved songs. During the early 1970s, the band was big, and David was a major part of that. But with success came problems, and for David, one big problem was alcohol. At first, the drinking didn't seem like a problem. Rock stars partied, and so did David. But soon, it wasn't just partying. He drank every day during shows, after shows, at home. His drinking changed him. He became harder to work with. He started forgetting things. He lost control of his voice. The band noticed. Fans noticed. Everyone saw the change. In 1976, Uriah Heep made a hard decision. They removed David from the band. It was not just about the music anymore. His health and behavior were getting worse. David tried to go solo. He made new music. He tried working with new bands, but it never hit the same. The fire he had before was dimmed. David's health got worse every year. His liver stopped working right. His kidneys followed. He looked older than his age. People who met him were shocked. How could someone with such a strong voice now barely stand? On February 28, 1985, David died. He was just 38 years old. He died from liver disease and kidney failure, both caused by alcohol. 12. Michael Clarke, the Byrds. Michael Clarke was born on June 3, 1946, in Spokane, Washington. He wasn't flashy like other drummers. He had a simple way of playing that worked perfectly for the Byrds. His beats helped create hits like Mr. Tambourine Man and Turn, Turn, Turn. The Byrds became one of the biggest folk rock bands of the 1960s. Michael was there from the start, but something else was always in his life: alcohol. Drinking followed Michael from his early days. He drank at shows, at home, everywhere. As time went on, the drinking got worse. His health started to show it. He lost weight. His skin looked bad. People said he was hard to talk to, angry, tired, sick. Michael tried playing with other bands. He moved around a lot, but the drinking never stopped. Even when doctors warned him, he kept going. Friends said he wouldn't listen. He was caught in a cycle he couldn't break. No matter how much people cared, alcohol had a tight grip on him. He grew weaker. His liver took the biggest hit. It stopped working right. His body filled with fluid. He couldn't breathe easily. He needed help doing basic things. But he didn't stop drinking. He couldn't. On December 19, 1993, Michael died. He was only 47 years old. He died from liver failure. It wasn't fast. It wasn't painless. It was the end of a long, slow fall caused by alcohol. His death was not just sad. It was proof. Proof that drinking too much doesn't just hurt. It ruins you. Slowly. And in the end, all that's left is the sound of a drum fading away. 13. Rob Buck, 10,000 Maniacs. Rob Buck was born on August 1, 1958, in Jamestown, New York. He played guitar for the band 10,000 Maniacs. He helped start the band and gave it a sound that fans loved. His guitar made the songs feel special. People noticed. He worked on big albums like In My Tribe and Blind Man's Zoo. These albums helped the band grow. Fans loved them. But behind the music, something bad was happening. Rob Buck was drinking too much. At first, it may not have seemed serious, a few drinks here and there, but it grew. He drank more and more. It became normal. People may have looked the other way. Maybe they thought he had it under control, but he didn't. His body started to suffer. His liver was getting weaker. Alcohol was slowly ruining him, even if he didn't know it yet. As the years went by, the damage got worse. The late 1990s were not kind to him. His health dropped. His liver could not keep up anymore. He may have had warning signs, pain, fatigue, but maybe he ignored them. Maybe others saw but didn't speak up. His music stayed strong, but his body was falling apart. He was in danger, and no one stopped it. On December 19, 2000, Rob Buck died. He was only 42. The cause was liver failure. The real reason? Alcohol. Years of drinking ended his life. It didn't have to be that way. He had talent, fans, and a future. But alcohol took it all. There were likely moments when things could have changed. Maybe he could have asked for help. Maybe someone could have stepped in. But nothing happened. He kept drinking. He kept getting worse. And then it was too late. His death was quiet, but painful. It reminds us that addiction hides behind smiles, behind fame, behind music. You don't always see it until it's too late. What songs did we lose when Rob Buck died? What could he have created if he had lived longer? 14. Kevin DuBrow, Quiet Riot. Kevin DuBrow was born on October 29, 1955, in Hollywood, California. He was the voice behind Quiet Riot, one of the loudest, boldest bands of the 1980s. With hits like Come On Feel the Noise and Mental Health, the band exploded in fame. DuBrow's voice was strong, wild, and unforgettable. Fans cheered, crowds screamed. But while he looked like a star on stage, something else was going on inside. DuBrow struggled with substances and alcohol. The fame brought parties, and the parties brought pain. It started small, maybe. A drink here, a pill there. But it grew. It became his world. The bright lights hid the shadows. The loud music covered the cries. People saw the stage, not the man, and that man was slowly breaking. His habits were not secrets. Many knew. Few acted. Fame can be a cage, and inside that cage, DuBrow was drowning. Years of drinking and substance use wore him down. He may have smiled in public, but his health was falling fast. The truth is, he was hurting for a long time. On November 19, 2007, DuBrow was found dead at home in Las Vegas. He was 52. The official cause was an accidental overdose of cocaine. But alcohol played a role too. His body had taken years of abuse. It finally gave out. It didn't happen overnight. It built up little by little, and then it ended. The world lost a voice, but more than that, it lost a man. Kevin DuBrow had chances, moments where he could have stepped back. He had friends, he had fans, but the silence around his pain was louder than his music. No one stopped the fall. His death was called an accident. But is it still an accident when the warning signs are there for years, when the pain is visible, when the danger is clear? Or is it something else, a failure to help, to speak, to care? The spotlight can hide the truth, it can cover the pain, but it can't save a life, not without help, not without someone seeing through the show. And when that help never comes, we lose people like Kevin. We lose them too soon. 15. Miika Tenkula sentenced. Miika Tenkula was born on March 6, 1974 in Muhos, Finland. He played guitar and wrote songs for the band Sentenced. The band had a dark, deep sound. Fans loved it. Tenkula made it special. His guitar was powerful. His music had feeling. Sentenced became popular in Europe. But after the band broke up in 2005, things started to change. Without the band, Tenkula stepped away from the spotlight. He didn't do interviews. He didn't go on stage. People saw less of him. But what they didn't see was worse. He started drinking. A lot. Quietly at home. Day by day. He was hiding, not healing. Some say he was lonely. Others say he was lost without music. Maybe both are true. But the drinking became his new life. He wasn't just sipping. He was sinking. Alcohol filled the space where music once lived, and no one was there to pull him out. On February 18, 2009, Miika Tenkula died. He was only 34. The cause was a sudden heart attack. But years of alcohol abuse helped cause it. His heart stopped, but it had been breaking long before. Fans were shocked. Some didn't even know he had been sick. That's the danger with silence. It hides the truth. Miika's health was falling apart, but few saw it. Fewer acted. And now he's gone. He had time. He could have turned things around, but the silence was louder than any cry for help. Maybe he didn't ask. Maybe no one offered. Either way, the result is the same. A life lost, a talent gone. He wrote songs that touched people. He played music that mattered. But in the end, no one heard his pain. That pain became a heart that couldn't go on. He gave the world music, but the world didn't give him enough back. Not care, not help, not time. Miika Tenkula left too soon. And the reason why should never be forgotten.